So the fact that wrapping the dog into a lomaikai and then put the dog in the water, I think this is something that you want to avoid, right? So two considerations are, one is that it feels more like a baptism rather than washing the body, baptism rather than reviving the dog. I think that's our concern. Okay. Second, of course, we think about production. How are you going to film this vlog? Okay. So this is what you want to avoid in the ritual, and then so wrapping the dog, no. Okay, and then some of the idea you can still reuse it, and then okay, the point that we like this build up. When you have like the build up is really nice, right? Then she charms, and then you have like some glitch moment, and then she opened her eye, and then she's into the void. This build up is good, but the 3 version doesn't feel like she is reviving the dog. I think that point is missing. Okay, so you have to make it very clear that she's reviving the dog. So only the storyboard part has a little bit of that, like when you yeah. Okay, so maybe this is something that you want to keep. Okay, so big idea is that no matter what ritual that she performs, right? This one you still have to design it up. Okay, the audience needs to know that she wants to revive the dog. I think this is the most important thing. She wants to revive the dog. Okay, so after she revive the dog, we like so I would say VE1. This part we like it, right? We like it when she charm, and then when she charm, the charming becomes louder and louder. The rhythm is much more better, right? So it builds up to this. And then when she opens out her eye, boom, right? She has like this confusing moment, right? So those are good. And then, but in terms of interaction, okay, the dog interaction in the storyboard one is nice.
Trước khi đi đã kêu vào tôi điện thoại.
Yeah. Okay. This interaction is good. Okay, we can really feel her emotion, right? So nice. Yeah. So this is nice. Right, so you can keep this. Yeah. And then okay, this is also okay. Alright, when she runs past shadow of how she get the dog and so on, right? Okay, so there's only one, but there's one concern, two concerns. One, think about camera. It doesn't have to be sideways, alright? So VE, maybe you can give some camera inputs, because overall we find VE you have very nice cinematography, right? So think about this. First thing, the idea is there. She run past her memory, right, in shadow, that's okay. So think about camera. Second thing is that she might need to stop in terms of acting. She might need to stop in order for the audience to digest what's on the shadow, what's in the shadow. Because, two things are running at the same time. So the audience might miss the story at the back when we focus on her running. Get that? Right, so acting wise, maybe she runs, and then she has to stop and then look at some of this movement, right, and mesmerizing the moment up. Okay? So, yeah, and then after that, we will arrive at this moment. Okay, so she will see should see this directive now. Yeah. So she see this, right? So so you build out. Of course, the camera is you have to fix the camera, right? And then what the friend wrote on the table now doesn't sell the idea, right? She's weirdo, right? So she is not a bitch. She's not like flirting around that kind of bitch. Right? She's not like gossiping people. She's not that kind of people, right? She is weird, right? She knows dark magic. The parents run a traditional shop. She's a bit like weird in that sense. Right, so you will not write like bitch like you're ugly your mother has no hair So think about this. Alright. So anyhow, she approached this table and then what happened? She break down, right? She break down. So we cancel the birthday cake moment. Alright, because we thought the opening scene of the girl interacting with the dog and then when she run past the shadow of her memory, that's already enough to build their connection. Right? So we don't need another extra birthday cake scene to enhance their bonding. So 2 scenes to enhance their bonding. She come to this moment, happiest moment, she come to here, alright, and then she got worried. Okay? And then this moment she break down, right? She break down, but none of you show how the dog comfort her. Alright, so this is something that we wanted to enhance. She break down, so you can continue from here, she break down, and then the dog come and comfort her. Alright, so so this is.
I think final version has. Yeah, final version has.
Yeah. Alright, so the dog. But whether is this acting or not, we are not so sure. Alright, so imagine she cries, she break down, she maybe scroll down, and then the dog come. Alright, it's a saddest moment. Alright, but then she hear the dog because the dog teleport on. Right, so the dog appears, and then the dog maybe like lick her finger. She open her eye, then she see, oh my dog, you are my only friend. Alright, so this moment she maybe hug the dog. Alright, then you can cut her face. Right, and then the moment that you might not need closing eye because closing eye, you're looking at the dog, why suddenly you close the eye? See here. So this is weird lah. So you can play with camera cuts. Cut to the dog, cut to her face, and then cut to the dog again. Then the dog is already gone, right? And then she look up, and then she already see here. Yeah, you see this. You get it? So some of this thing you need to play with transition, right? Camera transition, right? And then she looked up and then she saw a car just run over the dog. No, the dog died. Alright, so when the dog died, she approached the dog. Alright, so regarding how the dog transformed into the monster, we thought you can use this. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay, so important thing is that I'm not talking about the drawing. I'm talking about like this physical transformation, right? So important thing is that when the dog transform, the beads turn from white or whatever origin color it is to black, right? So to show that link and connection. Okay. Okay, then after that, when the dog come back to life, of course, you have that interactive moment, that's okay, alright? And then after that, you need to move on to, this chase scene. So chase scene, we find Okay, since we don't have the birth certificate, so some of these things no need right? So what we like about this is that you have the dog even though the dog has lost its conscience, but the dog still bark the shadow away. Okay, so this is what we like, right? Because that conflict, right? The dog is losing its conscience, he's monsterish, alright? And then at the same time, but he knows when he struggles, he still want to protect the master, right? So, but here, you know, like the dog is struggling, like bark and then chase all the shadow away. But then at the same time, the dog also look at the necklace, right? So because the dog wanted to break the necklace, the necklace bring him back to life and become monster. So he wanted, alright. So he is very aggressive. Of course, in the eye of the master, the dog is threatening. The monster is threatening. Okay. So we continue. Then after that, we like this moment. We like the EE ending moment, right? Because there's more build up, right? There's more build up, and then struggle, right? Then until here, alright. Okay, you know, like the dog bites the beads instead of her, alright? So when the dog bites the beads necklace, and then when it breaks, when it breaks, the whole thing return back to normal. Okay? And then after return back to normal, director card, yeah. We thought here, director card, you have nice acting, right? So director card is nice acting here, alright. So, okay, when the beast breaks, we see the dog the monster turn back to the normal dog, alright? And then, of course, there's beats everywhere, right? Because we don't want the audience to think that this is hallucination. We want the audience knows that this thing really happened, right? So the monster breaks the beats. The monster returns back to the dog, and then the beats are everywhere. Then the dog is it doesn't have to be at the original position, but things are messed up. Because just now, the monster ran into the room and create a mess, right? Okay? Alright, and then, finally, the final scene, right? The final scene is here. Right? So this moment, we want to do it after credit. Okay, so after credit, in her room, she opened up the window, light comes in, and then cut to the urn of the dog, and then also the picture, to show that the dog is already buried, and then in heaven. Get it? She don't do it instantly. We do it, we show it after credit. Right? So let me tidy up the whole story for you. So in the beginning, Celtic ritual, right? The ritual is important, revive the dog. Right? After revive the dog, the next moment is the dog interacting moment. And then after that, she chase after the dog, run past how she get the dog, and then what she wanted. What you needed to enhance is that the audience need to not only see her running, but also see the story. Right? And then at the end of the run, she come to the single table, her classroom, and then she saw whatever the bully writes to her. Alright, she broke down, and then when she broke down, the dog appears again to comfort her. Alright, and then the next moment that she look at the dog by doing cuts, the dog got run away by a car. Alright, she approached the dead dog. Alright, and then when she touched the dog, and then the beads become black, dog become monster. And the monster start chasing her, right? Then we enter this shadow again. So the dog struggle, run into breaking things, run into different things, breaking the rooms, destroying the rooms, struggle, but still trying to protect her, bark away all the shadow, alright? At the same time, chase after her, alright? She got frightened, freak out, and then build up to the final moment when she cornered, and then the dog come to her, wanting to eat her, but bites the beads, breaks the beads, she go back to normal, and then after that she realized that she still come to a realization, right, that the dog wanted to die, right? So she cried, and then touched the dog, and then maybe finally she covered the dog. It's like a gesture to bury the dog. Okay, then after that, credit, and then after credit scene, she opened the window, lights comes in, the dog is already buried. Clear? Okay, so edit these three together. So what you need to do next week, storyboard, full animatic. Alright? So for full animatic, whatever extra things that you have, we say group one, put it side by side. So when you edit, one side is your acting com, one side is your storyboard. So that we can judge two things together. Whatever that is not enough, we can always pull from your acting com. Is that clear to you? Yeah? Alright?
So I wanted to highlight that since we are going to merge all three, because we do think there are pros and cons in each version. So I think either you can still stay as a director because we still think that there are things that is valuable from your version. But unfortunately, once I need to pull you down, and we would like to have Hui Yue to be the co-director. Where's Hui Yue? So Hui Yue could be the co-director. You guys have to work together because I do think there are also valuable insight that VE side can provide it for the story. So meaning to say, three of you will tag team on story, director, co-director, tag team together. So VE side, you guys need to find someone else to be LV again. Propose out whoever can be that. Then once you stay in DLB, but we do think VE version has better cinematography, so you have to work closely with the co-director to get proposed on shots. So today's comment story approach, we are picking what works in each version, but how to put them together, area to enhance, still need to progress. Not to say you just take what existed, put together, that's done. No, you might need to refilm, you might need to come up with new reference because you need to see how to transition things together. Acting wise also, I think Valen, right? Valen is the director, we do think the main actor works for the girl as a demo reference, but not for the monster. Not for the monster. Unfortunately, because we think that, why? Because we still think that the monster are still not aggressive enough. The intensity is still not there. The monster is a monster. So you guys will need to find people, either you have to intensify your acting choice, or do you have any other people who can act together? You have to film different versions and find out who can do better and put together. Or you can let us choose also if you want, you can have different people act different shots, and then we can pick and choose. Also can, just like what we do today, right? You have three versions, you pick and choose what works. So those are areas where you would need to still continue to enhance. So what we expected to see next week is animatic, one side, the other side, it will be all acting reference or film reference. And we actually like what Billy did, like other than on top of getting film footage, you also add in some comp and edit to tell the story. Because your film do need that, right? Some areas, storytelling will need those to enforce what are you trying to tell. Because your film are a bit magical, right? Just by filming might not help to convey what is happening there. Okay, so it will be a team effort. So this will be the main thing moving forward until we can lock down. I mean, we hope we can lock down next week because there's still a lot of things that we need to put into planning already. For example, once we lock down on the story, we can start to do budget on your model and VFX. Because until today, we still don't know what can be filmed, what can be modeled. Just now we roughly did a discussion. We felt like what can be modeled, it's what will be destroyed by the monster. The monster confirmed will be modeled. You'll have the digital double dog. And I think we are also aiming to see if we can have a digital double of the girl. Right? Because maybe the monster will hurt her, there will be scratches, there will be injured, and then her clothes might be destroyed a bit, we don't know. So those could be easier to control in a digital double. So if we want that, then we need to lock down casting. Right? A lot of things we need to lock down for us to be able to budget your 3D side, model, how many things we model out, what are the effects that you need in your film. Okay? Is that clear on how important is this lockdown? Okay? Then other than this, I think we wanted to talk about casting because it's quite important. I think until today we are still not quite satisfied with the casting. I mean, the first girl, yes, the acting are there, but hair is covering her face. You can't see the face. And also very small, so far away, the quality also can't really see her acting on her face. And then the other concern is also like what we mentioned, her hair color and the length are also one of the concerns that might affect that. So we do think that she could still do as a backup plan if let's say maybe you guys need to talk to the cast, are she willing to shave her hair now? Or maybe she can temporarily dye her hair black and then maybe you cut short or whatever. I'm not sure how this actress are willing to go how far to help you guys, or are you just paying her, etc. etc. But that's the first thing, look wise, we might need changes. So are she willing to do that? Second, definitely we'll need a better casting video. So whether you guys want to move on to physical casting or you still want her to film closer facial expression, clearer video. So those are options for this. Then other than this, we wanted to propose a few candidates where we think that the look might fit. We are only proposing because we feel like the look of them fulfill the story theme, fulfill the characteristic. However, we don't know whether they are able to act based on your audition. So we wanted to throw a few names out, then you guys probably can reach out to them and then see if they are willing to do audition. So one is Chen Jin. You guys know Chen Jin? The senior? DG senior? Dance club? Anyone from dance club? No. Okay, they are anyone from dance club? Dance club should know, right? She's from dance club. You know Chen Jin? Yeah, then maybe you can ask Chen Jin. We feel like her look fits like being bullied and she's very fair. We can tell her that we actually propose because of her look. But acting wise, we are unsure because during her group that time, there isn't much acting come from her. Yeah. So then the other one is Kaching. Kaching IR senior. Maybe IR know? You know? Then we also think that her look fits with some makeup help lah. Her eyes feels like she can tell stories also, but we are also unsure about her acting ability. Her capability in acting crying or a bully girl, we are unsure. So maybe you guys can also reach out to her and see, and then maybe have some audition clips to show. But this is also to give you guys an idea what type of girl, what type of look might fulfill your film. So if two of them cannot act, then at least you have a sample to find people that are similar and give you the similar vibe. Okay? So that's for casting for your main character. Any questions? No? Okay, then design model to come together for design?
Yeah, okay. Okay, design side, right? Few things. Okay. First thing is Frasier, the monster design right now, like there's no progress at all since Monday, right? Or at least for in short one like some as in not enough. I mean like Monday we spend the time to go through all those things, but there's nothing to see today. Right? So monster is too slow. Okay? So if you need to assign more manpower to monster or you need to swap manpower, swap people, go ahead. Okay? And yeah, because modeling also need to move already. Right, so for character, right, today based on the ones that you would suggest, actually I need help. Right, so based on the version that you suggest, right, we think that actually this one not bad, the feeling. Right, this one, the feel is actually not bad. Okay, few things to consider. Just now, again, some of this might affect the story or the thing, so might affect the whole production design, so you have to pay attention as well. One idea that came out is when she's doing the ritual, she has the ritual wear, right? So when she's doing the ritual that time, she still has a robe and all that. But when you, and then she has the makeup of the ritual makeup, but once you transition to the void, she's clean. So that will give you more, that will probably lessen your restriction, right? Then after that, when she comes back to reality, right at the end of the film, then she's back in her ritual costume. But the makeup and all that could be messed up already, and all that. So that was one idea that came up just now. So you have the clean ritual version, you have the in the void version, and then you have the post ritual mess up version. Okay, great. Okay, and then things to consider. We think that possibly she can be barefoot if it's interior, right? We think home clothes is fine, right? And if you want to show leg, it's okay as long as the actress is comfortable, it's fine. Things to consider as well is your void is dark, right? Your void is dark. So she can't also be too black or too dark as well, which is one of the reasons why we think if you lose the robe when she's in the void, it's fine, right? So she probably want to wear something that will be at least visible, or else, right? You don't want to, if the background is also dark, she also wears something dark, then you have floating hair, right? So you don't want that. Okay, in terms of the, again, I'm throwing out examples or more specific examples now. So like ritual makeup, right? Ritual makeup, if you look at some of Zeen's design, it could be very specific. Like ritual makeup, even things like you use lipstick, but you only like certain parts. Maybe like you draw the eye. Maybe it's like, I know some of you explore some where it is a lot of writing on the arm, maybe too much, or like maybe it's But how do you sometimes I put dots on the forehead, things like that. So you can do those kind of you can do those kind of ritual makeup for the front part, right? So you can consider that. Even things like what kind of earrings you wear for the ritual, maybe. Are there a specific, or is there a specific way that she does her hair, right? Of course, if you can find the actress is short hair one, okay, it's fine, right? You can use the short hair one. But if let's say worst come to worst, you have to go with a long hair actress. Then think about what are the counter ways to do it, like maybe tie her hair, right? Maybe tie the hair together in a certain way, so that at least you come down on the VFX load, right? So you can think about that.
I have a question. Because normally when students do graduation campaign, right, when you shoot your
Oh yeah.
and then it's like, wow, so nice, so authentic, the makeup. And then when you do Halloween party also, all the makeup are very authentic. How come those things are not shown in the drawing? Right, so you have to go into the character, even though it's not the actual cast yet, but then you are designing a real person. So that person needs to look authentic. But the look itself, oh, this is a Chinese medium. So how do you make the look iconic? Yeah, so it's something that you want to do. Even her hair too, long hair doesn't mean that she cannot do hairdo, right? And then what kind of color that she use, what accessory that she use, yeah. So those are all things. I feel that the character design is very stereotypical. Like we say bully, then you break the glasses. Not necessarily like that, because it's not a kid show. It's a live action show. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean these things are still fine. These things are still okay. So based on the current story version, the beats become important, right? Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean, even in the version that's proposed just now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it can only be beats. If you still want like you have something there, right? Also can run that there's a medallion or there's something that's connected to the beats. That's still fine. So when let's say you want the beats to turn black, or something happened to the pendant. Right, on the pendant maybe it's like some demonic face, or you can think about what motif to put on the pendant, right? So that's also part of the design as well. Okay, we still think that it's worth having a rope for the ritual part, right? And the compromise will be like losing up when it's in the void. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So like, actually, we think that even the rope, even this rope actually is not bad. But are you able to get a rope like that for casting? Right. The necklace and all that, right? I feel like at this stage, just put your ideal version first, right? Just put what you really want to have, and then after that, production design, costume design, then you need to source what can get or not. If let's say you cannot get exactly what is in the concept art, then only you adjust, right? Then only you swap to something similar. But at least concept art, you get what is ideally you want first. Understand? So you're not constrained to that. Do think about color matching though. Color matching, like how do you match color? Like certain color match, as in like what is a good combination of color. So I feel like that one is still also something that you can think about even regardless of whether you're casting or not. Right? Okay. So character, is it clear how to move forward? No, it's the same clothes, like just like inside. Yeah, it's without the roof. Yeah, so it's actually the same costume. So it's just like during the ritual, she dress nicer as a robe, as makeup and all that. So once it's in the void, then it can be more like a usual. Yeah. Understand? Yeah. And then when you're designing, right, you can actually go closer one. Like next week when you show, right, it doesn't just need to be full body. You can actually move forward also where you can crop. You can also do like crop on the face, and then they can show clearer like kind of. I say if you have makeup and all that, like what kind of makeup on the face, so forth, right? Or let's say you want a pendant, you can crop also like maybe you can do a crop on the pendant as well. Then it's clearer, right? What's the design that you are going for the pendant? Good. Again, character. Okay. Monster really nothing to comment because it's the same, right? It's what I saw on Monday. So after discussing with them, so we are how to say what we still the same as the same notes. We are still talking about the Lupin kind of werewolf. So this mood board is still valid, right? So what we expect next, we are also after seeing that how fast or how efficient is your modeler, actually your modeler can also try. Okay, so yeah, so we are actually next week, right? We are expecting modelers can also model a version of the monster already. Yes.
Actually,
Yeah.
you already do the
Chihuahua, right? Yeah, use the Chihuahua to
You use
train.
it to extend the
Yeah.
proportion.
Yeah.
I think Jeff got the big
Werewolf rig, yeah.
accepted proportion already.
Yeah. So just now, roughly, I haven't been, but basically it's this one. It's actually this.
You pass to them
Yeah. You can put the zipper. This is the necklace. Some ideas are not necklace. Yeah. So basically, after discussing with Jeff and Chunian also, we think you can do it as a biped rig, like a werewolf rig. So the rig of the monster is like that, right? Like that. Okay. The leg will still be. You can see the drawing. The leg will still be the this kind of leg, but the upper body is biped like that. Okay. But for IL, right? IL, when you design next week, if you look at the paper, do a side view version. You don't need to put a fancy pose up. It's fine. You just do the normal pose up, right? And then do a front view also of the same creature, right? So I think what is important now is we can't keep wasting time. Like we can't keep going in a circle. So for the creature, what you want to lock down for, aim to lock down for next week is proportion. Get the proportion, right? So again, it's just repeating notes on Monday, you know already. So still somewhat like that. Okay. So skinny. Okay. So that one is still same. And then after that, just imagine the head is Chihuahua. Okay. Just like that. So we try to get this first, get the proportion, get the structure. So what are the things that you can explore for IL, right, or for the modeler? One of the things you can explore is how do you want to change the proportion? Do you want longer neck, shorter neck, or like how long are the arms and all that? So you can exaggerate the proportion, but it still basically take the Chihuahua and yeah.
At this point, actually,
Yeah.
your monster are very behind schedule.
Yeah, it's slow.
Design-wise.
Yeah.
So since we are stuck on the IL design, that's why we thought since model you are fast, 1 week you can get the gel body down.
Yeah.
Next week we will want to see exploration of the monster proportion. You can explore proportion, can explore treatment also.
Yeah.
You can explore how is the skin condition approach, whether you have scar, tearing, or burn marks, whatever it is. We want to see exploration in model already. However, I do know usually some of you can draw also. So if you guys would want to jump in to sketch some ideas for the monster, by all means do so. For now, we are throwing whatever available resources to help lock down the design of the monsters. Does that make sense?
Okay. So priority proportion, and then IL actually next thing is look depth. Basically, once you get the proportion of the monster, as in once you get the proportion, next thing you want to figure out is how much fur, got scar or not, like is it losing fur, is it like how much skin is exposed, right? Things like that. So that's the next step. Some of your idea like you want the eye to be like cloudy and not okay, it's good. The reference is still valid, right? Still okay, right? How do you want to change the teeth? Because Chihuahua dog has a specific dental one, right? So can I, in between how many teeth behind the carnassial, right? They have the big sharp scissor-like teeth, right?
So if possible, show more variety, choice also.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you guys are option 1 version, 2 version, 3 version,
Not enough.
we don't have things to choose if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So in 1 week time, you guys see how many you guys can come out more.
I feel like you want to speed up your workflow, right? Do one version, do a version first, and then after that, cut it up and play with proportion up. Basically, you want liquefy, put longer and all that. It's probably faster. Yeah. I want to discuss on Monday. Maybe understanding the skeleton is useful because since it's so skinny, right, you probably see a lot of the bone structure as well. So understanding that will be important as well. Okay. So both can move together, right? And then next week we see like the IL one better or the modeling one can work better. Okay. If end up modeling one work better, then IL you all will need to catch up, right? You all will need to reverse engineer and all that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Right. So that's monster. I would say I know like insurance one you want to break the joint and all that. Don't do that first for now. You want to make sure that the whole thing is sort of functional first. Those kind of things maybe the animator can decide later if they want to do that. Okay. So this one is good job, good job. Only thing is a bit fat. I say the leg is a bit thick and then the tail also is a bit thick. Because dog tail is actually quite skinny. It's just the fur that makes it fluffy. If the tail is too thick, then it will, once you have the fur, right, it becomes too much, right? And then the legs you can slim it down a bit, otherwise, the head is nice. So when you're doing the monster, you don't actually need to start from scratch up. Just take this and deform it up basically, right? And then for IL, right, pay special when you're designing. I would say pay special attention to the head, because why your film, right? If you look at your director's cut or whichever video just now, most of your shot is actually close up, right? Medium or close up of the head. So the dog head is the most. The monster head is more important than the body in a sense, right? Of course, both need to be nice, okay. So really design the head, like give variation, right? Okay, of how it looks like. Okay. For the character design next week when you show, you can even have like full body version, and then you want to cut a close up of the head, front and side view, just do it together, so that you really figure it out. Okay. Okay. So if you need more people to help, just put people in. Okay. Okay. Creature. Okay. Okay. Move on. All right. This one. Mark, you want to say or?
Okay, so for animation, since we are more complete with the story, I heard that Mark, you guys proposed to Mark that where is the animator? Where's Mark? At the back. Okay. So I heard that you guys have ideas on how you want the monster to move, right? Sometimes standing, sometimes crawling, right? Why you don't see in your presentation? But you have reference also, right? You have ideas, right? But none of you are presenting that idea when you guys are presenting. So to us, if we didn't find out from Mark, we wouldn't know. So to us, we feel like the animation side, you guys need to present better on your ideas and thoughts. And are those thoughts communicate to the story team also? Because when they are designing drawing storyboard, they need to know what type of movement that you guys are expecting also. So when modeling, they also need to know. So I'm also not sure whether this idea are still valid or are you guys still changing. So what we want to see next time is if you have ideas, thoughts, please present your ideas and thoughts with either film reference, image reference, or animation test. Jeff just now proposed the proportion, and I think there is a rate that are like this. He has this rate, so Mark will pass to you guys tomorrow. The rate proportions are more or less similar to what we expect it to be, but of course the rate is more muscular. So, but it should be sufficient for you guys to do test if needed. So at this point, I think the core needs for animation side is how you want your monster to act. Right? What is the personality? How can you show that? So it's either you guys need to be involved in acting hall, make sure the actor are able to act and explore your acting choices. Then you can show filming, you don't have to show animation test if it's still not fast enough. But we need to see yourself the idea, what idea you want for your animation. You can do filming, you can do acting, film reference, or do animation test. Does that make sense? So this is the first thing. The second thing that we feel like since Chihuahua has locked down, we can foresee there will be shots that we will need digital for the real. I mean, you already started modeling it also, right? At first we thought that we don't have to animate the Chihuahua, but I think there are some scenes we'll need it. We'll need you guys to animate the Chihuahua. Then maybe you guys also wanted to look into smaller dog breeds. Are you guys able to animate the smaller dog walk? Stylized small. Can they use it to do that? Yeah, I think that as long as the weight is correct. The weight is correct, you can still animate realistic animations with the stylized look. As long as the weight is correct. Yeah. So I think those are some areas, but when do you need to do it? I think you still need to do a planning. Doesn't mean that you need to really do a test. First of all, we still want to see your idea, what idea you have. You have your reference. I think you guys also film your cast, right? Maybe you guys can animate whatever casting video that you have for the dog. I think you guys film, right? The Chihuahua dog.
Dog got that video of the Chihuahua running around. Right?
It's your cast, right? Yeah, then maybe you guys can just animate that to see if it looks like the dog, the feel, the animation, weight. That's one of the things that we expect to see maybe in 1 or 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time. You guys have to judge the variety. Is that okay for animation side? Alright.
Okay, I'll add on a bit. This is the rig that I think Jeff will share with the animator. Okay, so this is actually the proportion. I mean, as in the roughly the how you do it. But for our version, right, our monster version, I mean, you can draw it like this, but of course it's going to be skinny, not buff, not buff like this. It's going to be skinnier, and you can still change the proportion. Like you want longer arms, all that. You can still try show us.
So with this proportion, I think you can find tons of film video already on how your creatures look. We need to see those. You need to use that. Maybe it could be part of the acting count also. Because the acting count, you can have video of the shots. You can put in some movement reference from film at the corner, montage them together to start. You want the creature to move it this way in the shots. So those are things that we still need to see as animation researchers. Okay?
Creature design, understand? So these are the base but of course yours is the body, the physique is skinnier, right? Okay, and also we are modeling like this. Doesn't mean that animation is biped. It's always biped. I mean, if this one, if necessary, you can always go down and correct that. Move on. Okay, clear? Right, move on. Okay, next thing will be environment already, right? I think. environment. Okay, so environment, right? First thing I'll say is the ritual location. Okay, ritual location. I think field information we can note down now. Okay, so first thing we can confirm is you want the back of the ritual shop, right? Or some.
Yeah, back.
So it's basically the back, maybe a store, that's in the back room for the ritual shop, right? So they are confirmed, back room of the ritual shop. Okay, if it's a back room of the ritual shop, means it probably shouldn't be too big, the room, right? So take care of the scale of the room, right? That's it. Usually storeroom not too big, right? The other one would be if it's a back room of the ritual shop, what will be inside? There will be props, right? I mean, it's a storeroom, there will be stock, right? So the ritual objects will be in the storeroom, right? So maybe you have I don't know, boxes of whatever ritual object, right? Sometimes, I don't know, imagine if it's near chip meeting and then there will be those paper doll inside. So there might be those creepy things or ritual objects inside the room, right? They are not used as part of the ritual of reviving the doll, but they are there in the room, right? Maybe she didn't clean, it doesn't necessarily have the time to clean up the room. You want the feeling, right, to be packed. You don't want the room to feel empty. Why? Because you want to contrast with your void. Your void is empty. If your room also empty, right, then boring, right? So in fact, you have some good reference later. I'll point out. Okay, so get the kind of feeling. Okay, the other one is practical consideration of the ritual room. Your candle. Yes, you can use red candle, but maybe be careful of how you arrange them. Arrangement like this might not work. What I mean by that is, if you are using real candle, I mean not CGI, real candle, maybe it's not such a good idea to have the actress surrounded by candle. You don't accidentally burn her. You can have candle, so your candle you can have candle, maybe position them around or how, right? So with the acting that your character is doing, right, in the com today, in the director's cut and all that, setting like this not very friendly to that kind of acting. Yeah, so practical, you need to consider practical application. For the room, right, we are thinking a lot of the props, right, if can physical, use physical, right? Okay. Candle, if it is something that the actors don't touch at all, maybe we can calm the fire or something, maybe, right? But yeah, it is, you still need to take care of health and safety.
We think it's best to have candle at the background setting, but not close to her.
Yeah.
Filming also quite dangerous, right?
Burn your camera.
So, and then also if it's close to her, your candle light is very obvious one, you cannot sometimes long, sometimes short, because it will burn down. So background, yes, we can still ignore those.
Yeah. Because candle also, in actual filming, right, candle will flicker. Your movement got wind when people move and all that. So there are complications. So do consider the candle things. Okay. For the ritual for this hanging thing, right, we are not sure it will look nice. Because as in you need a lot, right? However, we have a suggestion. Maybe you can use cloth instead of paper strip. You can use a bigger banner because Chinese funeral actually got one. The ritual shop. So I'll try to search and show you if you look at Grandmaster, the movie, right? Funeral. This one, right? So you see, imagine inside the room, there's actually a lot of this kind of almost like curtains, right? And then if you use real one, and then when filming, you put some wind, and then it's actually fluttering. It can be quite nice, right? I mean, there's many different Chinese or ritual. There's actually many different types. Okay. Then if you are this sort of banner, can some maybe here, some of it maybe too modern, some maybe too modern here, but you can look for the more ancient ones with the more traditional style, right? Like, or this kind of, I mean, you look at the pattern, pattern, color scheme. So a lot of times, because Chinese funeral or Chinese, I mean, it's very maximalist one, right? So that's why your room you don't want to make it too empty. Okay. So Ken, okay. So when you are designing, so next week when you're presenting the room or the ritual room, right? Okay, you can actually design it as a set already, one. Meaning that then it is like treat it like a box up. Like the room is a box, right? And then where is the ritual thing? So you put your things in a set, okay? And then you pour out your object. You have today you already do a lot of individual objects, right? So now is the time to put them into a second. Okay? Right? Alright. Okay. The symbol, of course, as we mentioned, still need to explore lah. Right? The symbol that you want today is not quite working yet, so you can think about that. Okay, I'll move on to the next one first. Some of the things that we do find interesting is like this one is interesting, this one is interesting as well lah. Okay. But this one we don't know what are they supposed to represent. So we need to try out. Okay. This one depends on how you do it. Just now we did also discuss the car. So this one affects story as well. Story and cinematography. Do you actually need to show the car hitting the door or not? Or you use sound and lighting or whatever to show up. So you need to consider why, because it's a budget. Right? If you are showing the car, then are you going to model the car? Are you going to film a real car? Right? Right? Or if you are not showing the car, then there's other ways you can tell the same story point. Okay? So something to consider as well. Other than that, the corridor one actually we think that possibly also is interesting. Like the corridor, right? I think is it this one? Yeah. The corridor one actually the corridor idea also came on. But you can think about how to enhance it. Okay. In fact, right, you want to draw attention. There might even be an idea that you can have props here, meaning that maybe this is the birthday. I don't know, this maybe she's receiving the dog, or maybe let's say this is the birthday party, right? Memory. Then maybe there's a small table with the cake or something. I don't know. Right. The other side, you can have props also according near the memory, right? And then, do you want a literal corridor? As in, you see the ceiling and the floor, or is it actually more like there's no wall one, right? Or is it just the wall, but the floor is actually like water? There's many considerations. Okay. For the void also, just now we also discussed like maybe it is worth trying the what's that? How to build shaping. Right. Actually, right, you can also
Enjoy 10 ringgit off with code SYOK 10.
It's like your floor, right? Imagine this one that might involve some cost. You can see it can look quite interesting. So they actually feel like that.
Oh, it's real?
It's real water, yeah. But of course, you can see water as well.
Or it could be combination
Yeah.
from real acting
Yeah.
with some maybe more kind of CG that's be able to simulate the water then come together in the end.
Yeah.
We need to figure out what is the good way to do
Yeah.
so. Why water seems like a good element because in the beginning we have the black water, right?
Yeah.
So it's
real water.
well, I keep feel like maybe there's some point we're gonna see the water again, but we don't. So we need to find a way to insert that element. Or maybe it's a good idea to put water in the beginning.
Depending on how your story develops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just something
Yeah.
to think of.
So environment, yeah, that things as I go through a slide, if there's more, I think there are more relevant examples behind our point. For the ritual itself, I think this was already mentioned, right? Like wrapping the dog is not a good idea. Why? Because you can't wrap the real dog. Wrapping the CG dog is also a nightmare, I think. your fur and claw penetration, I think that one is not a fun thing, right? Okay. So yeah, but if you say that the dog is already lying there, so ritual designer also pay attention. If let's say your dog is already lying there, nicely set up, that can be a CG dog, it's fine, right? Or you can comb if the camera is not moving, you can comb a photograph of the real dog. I don't know, I mean, see, right? But at least that is not so bad. Then after that, maybe she can put the yellow cloth on the dog and cover. That one I think still do. That one is still doable. She can put the yellow cloth on the CG dog or something. That one is probably still fine. Then after that, the liquid, you all like the liquid, the liquid, instead of dunking the dog inside, you can use the liquid to write the spell on the cloth. Right, so that will also save you like production-wise. Okay. All right. Yeah. Question.
Okay. Basically, when the dog is wrapped, basically we're not really showing that the dog is inside. We're gonna replace the dog with like a prop, basically, right?
It look really
No.
Because if you wrap the whole dog, you don't have to actually use the dog inside the burrito wrapping.
No, but that's the thing. That's one of the story point related to what I mentioned. If you only see a burrito, we don't know what she's doing. We thought she's just doing a summoning. Let's say she's just doing a ritual,
Well, you can imply the dog is inside there. That was the idea, right?
I think we just need to go and straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the dog just lay there nicely.
Yeah,
And
I'll
just
show you an
cover
example.
the cloth. You know, I mean,
Actually,
this is what you do for real people also, right? If a dead person, you will cover them with the yellow cloth and then with some writing, colors writing. The people, people know what it is.
那个只是哪一个？
I mean this one is maybe very extra. But
因为我跟他讲
imagine
了，看他电话先报还是我手先报，1个小时哦。
Oh yeah.
Huh?
So what we mean by that is, imagine, right, instead of you burrito and all that is expensive, imagine if, or even like just now in your ritual, you all got the ritual pillow also, right? I think one of your prop is a ritual pillow. Imagine this is the Chihuahua already nicely put on the ritual pillow, and then you got a flower around it, and then the message will be clear lah. That's what she's trying to do, right? And then after that, she can put the cloth over and then do whatever spell that, write the spell and whatever she needs. I would say research this setting also for the ritual, testing the ritual. A lot of times what they do, right, they actually make it very nice one, right? They put the flower around it. Yeah, some of these is. That's what actual people do now. Okay, right? You can still have your liquid, your whatever other implements, right? But maybe the dog is laid out nicely like that, right? The flower also pick the right flower choice. That's why you need to think about color theme one. We are thinking maybe you have red candle, right? Maybe is it possible to get black candle? I'm not sure. Are there black candles? Yeah, maybe black candle. Red, but I think red candle, yes.
Red is more Chinese.
Yeah. So let's say a red candle, white flower. So for Chinese, what are the common flower that you usually get, right? Correct. Yeah, white chrysanthemum. Yeah. Yes. So you can sort of like imagine that's the dog. You surround it with a white chrysanthemum, make it nice. That at least feel like she looked the dog up. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. Let me come back here. All this. Okay. I mean, it's a good idea. Yeah. Just like necklace, right? It can be something like that one. And then what is this thing? And maybe this thing will has effect when it's the rituals. I mean, when the dog becomes monster. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think there's a few more. How's the behind part. I think there are a few references.
主要
Yeah. As in, I mean, like, let's say imagine the ritual place, right? Shouldn't feel very like empty. It could be as full as that one, full of things, right? Not necessarily very like empty. Yeah.
Okay, is that too Chinese? Like, you didn't want actual Buddhist elements inside the ritual, right?
I mean, you are not replicating a real ritual, but as in the density of objects, as you can see, like, it's not empty. It's basically quite maximalist.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Not specifically those objects necessarily, but yeah. So you fill with more things rather than empty. The Naruto they not. Yeah. Okay. The reason why also this one won't work with your acting. It's very hard for her to access the inside. Okay. And then yeah. This one suggestion is use cloth banner, the bigger ones.
You guys should do a field trip to Temple, Lunar Power, Greek, to get the sense of the
GG Cam 2
Or like your last time when you scout the shop house, right? The ritual shop. Did you all see what the technically looks like? Maybe it's worth coming.
They don't let us enter.
Oh, okay.
Like, you say you want film, you can film the shot, you cannot film it. Very, very long, but I want the long thing, don't want.
No, actually it's correct. You need to reframe that one.
I know, but they don't want to let us
Long.
lie or something.
Yeah, have you all seen this before? Is it on YouTube or the neighbor? Let me see if you can find it. Your senior did this before. You have YouTube.
Yes.
You haven't seen this, right? Have you? It's quite old. This is many years ago, right? But this one, the feeling, you can see some of it. Your ritual short bedroom would feel like this, right? The feeling, yeah. So we need to capture that. Later there's one part where he goes into the one, a small room. Yeah. And then just now, I think Xiaoyan has shown. Yeah, like well, you know the you know this one.
有看到后面
有有有有，
Yeah, other things I mean hair, yeah, hair, right, and then like the makeup, things like that. I think Z's one you know lah. I don't know where to find it, right? Makeup stuff. So yeah. Yes, so can I mean understand what you need. Right? So the ending also you understand, right? So an ending is when the dog when she comes back, the place is actually messed up already. Because maybe the thing didn't happen, right? So the dog is no longer in the circle. This time we actually even talk about if the dog is the one who bite off the beaks. Maybe the dead dog has the spring in the mouth still or something like that. That could be a CG dog if that's the case. Yeah. Okay, and then of course ending, if you are going with the urn ending, right, then you need to design the urn also. Right? No, as in the ending and no, as in the after credit, the one where you open the window and then the starlight come in, and then you see on the shelf there is the ashes of the dog and the photo or something like that. That thing will be designed also.
That scene is necessary.
It's more wanted, yeah. Yes. So I think design side is like that for now. Yeah. Okay, so it's week 4 now. Again, the target, I mean, the target is still the same. After exploration week, we need to start with this. So you know, need to work the timing. So week 4, so you have 5, 6, 7, and exploration week now, so you have 4 weeks. And then 8 will show 3 days already. Okay? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, right.
哎，还没完呢。